Hello and welcome to Pub Goth Transmission. Today we are joined by our special guest, the Pope of Goth, the Pope of Pub Goth himself, Nestor Mac. Yes, it's Mac.
Hello.
And of course, as always, joined by my co-host, Dr. Adam C. Jones. How are you doing?
Right, episode title, Return of the Mac. Come on, we know it. We know it.
Live like two-pack.
Yes. Right. Now, despite my jubilant exterior, I feel like shit today. I am on day 3 of worst eczema therapy I've had in about 3 years. So I am not quite feeling entirely rainbow rhythms right now. But for the audience, we will crack on with things. Today's topic is gigs, our gig stories, musings on gigging. Should be a lot of great stuff in there, a lot of little nuggets. We've all got our stories, so it should be a lot of fun.
Indeed.
And you won't be able to tell whether they're made up unless you've been to the gigs yourself. So,
honestly, a lot of it sounds like it's made up.
but because it's better that they weren't there.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's better that people weren't, And there's a lot of, a lot of the stuff a lot of the stories I don't know how many. I could go on for about 6 hours.
You got one from this week,
yeah, I do. I should probably avoid talking about that. I promised Daigoro that I'm not gonna make any jokes about any musical scenes or anything, and just try and be good at least until after the Street Soldier game.
When we do a sequel, though, when there's like a follow up to their topic,
I'm technically, despite the fact that I'm doing a podcast right now, consider myself not a public-facing member of Daigoro. So anything I say, even if I'm promoting our material specifically, is not associated. I do not represent the opinions of Daigoro, and also. I'm probably joking. If you didn't catch that,
there's always that to fall back on,
lampshading.
Look, no hardcore kids were injured in the making of this podcast,
but they were at that other gig.
I'm trying again. I'm trying.
Well, I'm not in the band. I'm not involved. But
there are two things we have to beep in this podcast, like praising Hamas and that. And even then, we don't do the first one after time.
But it's not that Archie's like anti-Israel. He just fucking loves Hamas.
For a second, it's not like he's fucking anti.
Yeah, it's not an anti-Israel thing. It's just he thinks Hamas is sick.
Game recognized. Game.
Yeah, it's all it is. Yeah, we've all got. I support Celtic. Game. It doesn't mean I hate Motherwell. I don't even consider them, mate. I just think, God, we play good football.
Right. Well. Let's get into this and let's just flow. I'm going to start with a random story off the top, right? So I remember once I was playing a gig with Daigoro in Fuel, Cardiff. Can't remember what band I was playing with, but I remember that I think I was getting on the coach by myself, and I was like, I want something to drink on the coach, and they had an offer on Bailey's, Sainsbury's. So I'm just sat on this coach from Victoria Coach Station to like Cardiff. Just drinking Baileys out of a bottle of Baileys. And then I remember being in the venue, sat down thinking, it's quite comfortable, this. Next thing I remember, I'm literally being slapped in the face, slapped awake. Like, Archie, we're fucking on right now. Grab my bass. Go on stage, play a set. I think that's the only time I had to be properly slapped awake before a show. But I've been.
How'd it go, though? How did you play?
Fine. I think it's fine.
Where was it?
Fuel Cardiff.
Oh yeah.
So it would have been probably one of Gavin's ones.
It's not like you forgot that you're playing. Like, you went in like London and you forgot you were actually went to Cardiff to play.
I was at the venue. I was very EP because I had like a whole bottle of Baileys.
This is the trick. You have to do like a 2-person basically noise band, because then talent is or inebriation is no obstruction to doing what you need to do.
I could still play.
It's just like it's Bailey's, because Bailey's is a fucking 9 a.m. Christmas day drink. That's the shit you drink it all and you just don't move the rest of the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a good. It's like when you're younger and you think, it's on offer, and you just don't realize how much of an idiot you're being until later on. You're like, what? Yeah, it is tasty though. It is tasty. I remember, Adam, going to one of your gigs. I think this was the band that shall not be named. Back when it could not be named, it's now the Coming Insurrection. You can name that.
You're now in it.
Name the Coming Insurrection.
You're actually in it.
Actually, you probably can't because you probably get in trouble if you're French. If you're French, don't mention the Coming Insurrection or what it was called previously.
When you can't
if you're not French, you can mention the Coming Insurrection, but you can't mention what it was called before. But I went to go and see what it was called before, and I remember it was one of those classic Haringey Warehouse gigs. And all I remember is one of the previous artists, and I say artists, was basically assaulting a small tree with a contact microphone and then throwing a tree stump around like at the crowd.
This was our first gig.
For everyone. Yeah.
Was that the first? Was that the first?
It was the first gig. It was in X-Fed. We got there. It was like, what the fuck is this? Okay, it's just like a bunch of power cables, like a crate of Heineken, and a few.
I remember there was a cat though.
There was a cat. There was a lot of dogs. There was a lot of dogs, but all of them had 3 legs.
Three legs makes them more authentic. They actually cut them off themselves. Like that's why they all have it.
Because it was like our first gig, so many people like came down to like support, but they'd come down from like a sesh the previous night before, and so everyone was on a come down thinking they were going to see like a metal band.
Noise gig.
I remember standing there.
Yeah,
just like, oh,
not going to go there hungover because that would hurt.
I remember like I think our gig actually caused a breakup because two of our friends who were together at the time were coming down, and the argument was so intense of, you brought me all the way here to listen to this, you bastards.
I don't think
they actually didn't survive the encounter.
How many legs do you reckon there were overall?
From the dogs, I think there was about 3 dogs, 9 legs.
Was maybe 8. There was never like 2.
There was never it would be a lot harder.
Was it always the same one that was missing?
I wasn't counting, to be honest. I had a lot of stage fright at that point.
I just think it's suspicious, to be honest.
I mean, it's part of that thing where it's like it's a crusty thing, so maybe like that's the price of admission.
Don't trust them, to be honest.
No, not an arm and a leg, just a leg. They're pretty reasonable these days.
I mean, they are armed. They're arms and legs. If you're a dog,
lucky if it's just be one limb.
Well, they're pit bulls, so they're dangerous, So you got to take some precautions.
Yeah, not so XO anymore. These bullies.
I don't think it's their legs that are the problem.
It's like, fuck's sake. I mean, that was probably the weirdest gig.
I would anger them taking one leg. You know, all the other ones would get fucking ripped after out of like pure fucking hatred.
That was a weird fucking gig. Us following the guy who was just throwing a tree around in a fucking shopping cart. I mean, that was the thing with noise gigs. They're much because like I know we always used to play, especially on the ones me and you did Archie. We're always way more like metal gigs because like as I was doing noise gigs, it was honestly just like way too artsy. Like half the time it would be just seating, and then I remember once I did one gig and the audience didn't show up. Like the audience were late.
That's what happened.
There wasn't an audience. There was one, but they were so busy in like the other part of the venue, like looking at some art performance, that one time we came on, everyone was like, "Where the fuck is everyone?" And they showed up like halfway into our set, and then because we were given 5 minutes left, and I was like, I'm not playing this art.
The performance.
Yeah.
I mean, he's all like Goldsmith's art kid, so yes.
But like noise gigs are either like that or they're like racist. Like it's either like artsy fartsy,
I feel
like mad, or then or like
a few in between.
What like artsy fartsy racist?
No, like the good one without the bad one. Less artsy fartsy, but also not racist.
Mm.
I don't go to that many racist gigs, to be honest. No. It's I think usually if you do it, it's by accident. When you like go to a black metal gig and then you Google them afterwards, and you're like,
But the noise scene in general is an interesting one.
It is like its own arse one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like there's even more room to be edgy in there than black metal because I feel like they have more like kind of reasonable doubt. Like in the noise scene, you can actually make it seem like you're just putting forward an idea. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that. Here's a swastika. I'm not, Whereas in black metal, like you feel like that's
make of it.
Yeah, like but noise like
pass it around.
Yeah, but noise I feel like it's like they could pass it off a bit more. It feels a bit more insidious in a way, Black metal's obvious. Noise is a bit more kind of Ooh.
Thinking
So
man.
noise is a bit more Elon Musk.
Yeah, the thinking man's racism.
Okay, never mind. Not thinking man. If I'm mentioning fucking
No,
Elon
God,
Musk
no.
already.
We're gonna get into phonology next.
I mean, once though I got a bad review because like it was someone was pissed off because was doing a gig in a church, and someone was pissed off that I was like I had like a jumper of a white shirt underneath it to imitate a fucking dog's collar a little bit, and someone was like, "Oh, it's really disrespectful doing like a harsh noise gig and like doing it at church and then like dressing up like a vicar, like the noise, the fake exorcisms, me strangling Archie with a microphone cable. Not really, guys, it's a plant. That's fine, but doing it with a dog collar, it's like, oh, that's really off. That it's really upset the vibe in the neighborhood.
But who's to say that a vicar couldn't make noise? Like, what if you were?
That's most of their fucking job, just yapping on the pulpit and like screaming at people that are going to hell. That's basically what a band is these days.
Yeah, it's not in the Bible that it's against God.
There is no harsh noise in the Bible, no.
He likes a bit of post-industrial.
What about the horns that brought down the walls of Jericho?
The OG harsh noise.
I mean, horns. I mean, surely. I mean, okay, right. So if there's horns that brought down the walls of Jericho, the problem for that is that we don't want to interpret that too heavily because that implies the existence of biblical scar. And you know what? I don't really want to blame the Israelites for scar.
Scar-sun combo in order to bring down the walls. Some sun would have to do some kind of scar.
It's like it's not gone far enough.
With horns. Do you remember when Napalm Death did that gig through like a ceramic thing, and they were going to do it in the V&A, but they had to do it like in some random spot instead because the V&A was worried about the structural integrity of the building.
Oh god, yeah, that was part of that whole wave of like artists having a bit of fun with metal bands. Because remember, like fucking,
that pissed me off because they did the thing with the box. And they were going to get a death metal band to play until they ran out of oxygen in the box. And they picked Unfathomable Ruination. They couldn't even get Suffocation. Come on, people.
And then was it an Oxide did that one gig with
they did an arty gig as well.
Yeah, Omar did vocals for that. I think Omar
it was right after Bloodstock one year. Like it literally went straight from Bloodstock to that gig.
I think Omar did vocals for that art show thing.
What's the weirdest gig that Digor have ever done? Like, what's the most out of place? What the fuck are we doing here? Sort of like, or like middle of nowhere, like.
No, the France ones weren't weird. I mean, like, that's a good question. I'm trying to think through all of our gigs over the years. Like, we've done like we've played some fucking gigs. I mean, one of the more difficult ones was when we played in Spain the first time. I mean, both the times we played Spain have been tough. I might as well just get into that, right? So the first time we played Spain, playing in Murcia, which is basically like the Birmingham of Spain, and we're playing this show. We've booked like a sort of villa, like in some other places, not too far away, but it's like not exactly close. And like I think we went out the night before. Oh yeah, a hot side story. So a mate of ours, we went out the night before. I went home early because I had really bad hiccups.
Was Elliot there as well?
A loser. Elliot was there, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not naming names for the purpose of the podcast, but if they are listening, then it was first.
Elliot, come on the podcast, actually. That'd be pretty sick.
We could get Elliot on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, mate of ours is a customer, they're really drunk, and there's a taxi comes, and he goes to one taxi and they say, "Oh no, we're full, go to the other one." Goes to the other taxi, say, "Oh, we're full, go to the other one." So he's just stuck there, ends up going to sleep in an alley, wakes up with no phone or wallet. And then just to get back and decides to try and walk all the way from fucking wherever it was. I forget the name of the place. All the way. And then he's walking for like 6 hours. Anyway, I woke up at like 9 a.m. and he's just in the room. He's like, "You won't believe what's happened to me." And he had like fat bunions on his feet.
The fact he got back though.
The fact that he made it back. But after like hours of walking. Our gig was the next day. And the thing is, right, we didn't understand the Spanish culture. So we're like all day, we go for a little walk, we come back, we do a barbecue, we're drinking, and we managed to score like a weed. It was like a whole like half ounce, like in a big banana. We're smoking that. And like, then we go to get, and we don't realize that we're not on until like 4:30 a.m. We're on at the end of the show. And Spanish, they siesta. So the whole time we're partying in the afternoon, they're fucking...
Everything's shut up, boss.
Because they're going to go, and so we didn't realize we're the last fucking band on. That doesn't mean we're on at 12. That means we're on at 4:30 a.m. So we're just trying to stay away. And there's footage of this. There's footage on YouTube of us playing this show. And you can see me at that, like, just trying to stay awake playing this music. And yeah, I mean that was a tough one. And then the second time we came back to Spain to do a hideously organized tour. We played 4 shows. We landed. It's the first shows in Santander, which is right in the north. It's not just a bank apparently. And we play the show, and then like it's this fairly small show. It's right. We go to the hotel. It's supposed to be a hotel, but there's no hotel. But we got to pay for a hotel. Okay. Then there's like a mate of ours that's like renting a van. We drive all the way down to the south of Spain to play in Murcia again, Birmingham, Spain, which is right in the fucking south. We play the show, but I remember turning up, getting to the venue, and going, "Hola, quisiera número de marijuana, por favor." And they go, "No, cocaine." But we were at that place until like late, like drinking with the owner of the bar and all that sort of stuff. And then we're staying in the promoter's house. This woman. As soon as we walk in, you hear this. Like I think Kieran, our drummer at the time, knocked over a vase and smashed it on the floor. 5 seconds later, Reese walks in, knocks another vase over, smashes it on the floor, and it was just like. Anyway, we wake up really late the next day and realize we've got to get to like a place near Valencia. Can't even remember what it's called to play our next show. And we realize that like we go to the train station, like all the trains are booked. You can't book a train. We're like, what? It's like Saturday afternoon. What do you mean it's all booked? Get a bus. Okay, so we go to the bus station. We get a bus. Get on a bus. Realize that we're not going to get to Valencia until 9. We're going to completely miss this show. There's no way we're going to make it. So we're on a bus for fucking hours and hours, realizing we're not even going to be able to play the show. We get to Valencia bus station. Fortunately, you can get like a whiskey for like €2.50. So drink at the bus station. But we were here in Murcia, got the bus to here, Valencia, for a gig that was here. Our next gig was about here. So we were on a coach all the way back. And I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. We're in fucking Murcia again, where we fucking started. That was we booked a hotel, managed to sleep for an hour or two to play our last show in El Ejido, but fuck me, that was a cunt of a tour. Awful. Horribly organized. Never even met the promoter once. Just awful. Terrible gig. So that was not necessarily a weird one, but just I like Spain, but far.
You call it Birmingham. You call it Birmingham, but they don't even have Black Sabbath or Judas Priest or Napalm Death.
No.
So
is there any fucking point trying to get tickets for the next final?
I can't be asked.
It's a write-off.
I've seen a lot of them, and
it's a write-off.
And I saw Black Sabbath a couple of times, and they were good when I saw them, and I bet they'd be shit now because
I've seen them, but I don't remember it, which is annoying. But I mean, I've seen them, which I can say that.
I'm gonna go for a piss.
I have never fucking seen Sabbath, but I've already seen like some like rumored like prices go, and it's like like 300, 400. Well,
it's like
or something.
It's like the cheapest ones are like 175 or something, and like I'd happily pay that, but it's like I'm not gonna get it. Like they're gonna go in seconds. So people all over the world are going to be going for it. It's
also like stuck in like a ring system as well, where you're like the basic ones you don't really see shit.
Well, yeah, I think like imagine the cheapest ones, they wouldn't be very good, like because it's at Villa Park. Yeah, I think the cheapest ones are seated, and I imagine they'll be slightly restricted. But apparently they're saying there might be like dynamic pricing as well. So like, it's fuck like. It's like why even bother trying? Like I would love to go, but I think like I'm not even gonna. I don't even want to bother trying because what's the point? Yeah,
and Tony Martin's not going to be there.
No, you know what? Exactly. Like I hope though, because obviously this one is like it's obviously an Aussie thing, really overall. It's his like last show, but I'd love Tony Iommi to like play some gigs with Tony Martin. Like eventually, like obviously it wouldn't be Black Sabbath, but they could call it like fucking Headless Cross or something. But I'd love to just say some gigs, like some small ones, like just. Fucking that. Obviously, like Cozy Powell's dead, and like quite a few of them are dead from that era. But just them two, and whatever lineup they wanted to do. Like, mate, I'd love to see like Headless Cross and Tier and all that live. Like,
mate, I've never seen. I've seen Ozzy. I've never seen Black Sabbath though. I kind of really want to because they're probably my favorite band of all time, and at the very least, they're somewhat uncancelable because they are genuinely so fucking stupid most of the time. I mean, like Ozzy Osbourne, like he can like sign as many like Solidarity of Israel things as he wants. I know he can't even read what he's signing. So it's like he's God's perfect idiot.
Did you see that? There's a video of him recently, and it was like that podcast they do. I can't remember what they were saying, but it was something about he got asked about something. He was like, oh, and then they said something about like about unions, That's some unionizing. And as soon as he heard that, he was like, "Oh no, fuck unions." I'm thinking, like, how have you like fucking?
You don't work in the fucking unions.
Like, how have you perked up? You've heard about unions, like you're dissing them. I'm thinking, like, fucking hell, like. But yeah, exactly. Like, but at the end of the day, the thing is, though, Black Sabbath, like, I fucking love Black Sabbath, one of my favorite bands ever. But I love the fact that they're so like they've got such a massive, varied discography. Like, it doesn't end at Aussie. Like, don't get me wrong, the Aussie stuff is great. It's the best. It's the best. But like, the other shit is so good. And like I said, I love Tony Martin. I'd love to see Tony Iommi and Tony Martin do something like whatever it is, like just do shows like Heaven and Hell. Remember how good they were? Like, I was a bit too young to like see him live, but I remember that album when it came out.
Missed that.
Yeah, it was so fucking good, man. Like, and it's a shame. It's a shame because Black Sabbath is in like a fucking chokehold from Sharon. You know, like that's why Heaven and Hell was called Heaven and Hell. Like that's why she would never let Tony Martin. Like you can't like when they re-released that recently. All the videos were on Tony Iommi's YouTube because they would never let that go on Black Sabbath's YouTube. That's not Black Sabbath to them, you know.
Yeah, it's the fucking like reality TVification of the Osbournes, which to be fair, they did kind of pioneer reality TV, and it was horrible. But like, I mean, I'm just thinking about I've just got my standard I have gotten too stoned to think of anything / chat up line, which is I randomly just blurt out, do you know that Black Sabbath have 19 studio albums? Because people don't know that Black Sabbath have 19 studio albums. People think
they're all sick.
And they're all fucking sick.
Mate, they actually all are. Like, since Forbidden got remixed, it's a good album now. They're all good. I think Seventh Star, Glenn Hughes on vocals, mate. And you know what? The best thing they got was getting Tony Iommi. Fucking Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi, fucking match made in heaven.
Oh damn, that's a big gap.
They said it.
Iommi, damn.
They said it couldn't be done. They said it couldn't be done.
Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath, it will never happen. But they managed it.
But honestly though, Glenn Hughes, they got Glenn Hughes. He sounds incredible. It's literally just Spooky Whitesnake, and I like Whitesnake, so fucking more for me, mate.
Spooky Whitesnake is a fucking good. Like,
Headless Cross is like Spooky Whitesnake, but a bit heavier. But I like Whitesnake, like John Sykes, man. Rest in peace. I find it
funny that a lot of people don't know that Whitesnake are English. Like,
I hate the name though.
I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. She's like, "What do you mean they're English?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, seriously. Like, it's like the band America. Like, it is just them pretend to be septics for pussy."
They're just 80s Led Zeppelin, but even hornier. Like the fact that Whitesnake is exactly what you think it is. Like, yeah, he is talking about his cock.
The band's called Cock.
Well, yeah, exactly, and they're good, mate. John Sykes, legend, rest in peace.
But they didn't have to play a weird gig in Spain. I think it was the last weird gig I did, and it was a noise gig. It was in a convent in northern France.
Noise gigs are kind of inherently weird.
Yeah, that's cheating.
But this was like at a crypto commune though. There was like fucking peacocks.
I get to any noise gig and feel like fucking out of place.
I always fucking feel out of place.
I went to your book launch and felt out of place.
Hell, I fucking felt out of place. I was like, who the fuck are you people? Like,
you're on fire. You're on fire.
I just have to command. I mean, it is ironic though, given that I've been trying to get the rights to my books back, but like the guy who owns like the company that the books are put out is like a massive like AI tech bro.
Adam's version.
Yeah, exactly. I would totally like to get it back, but they said no, and it's okay. I'm not going to watch this. They're not going to sack me, but like Repeater is owned by like a fucking like AI like Israeli tech bro who is genuinely a fucking idiot. He's one of those like rich idiots who hasn't heard the word no since divorce.
Hold back the edge, go Repeater. Dun, dun.
I'm pretty sure it's named after that. Like, is it the Fugazi song, right?
Yeah.
Named after the fucking Fugazi song. Right.
You know, Magruder Grind. They're obviously a sick band, but their vocalist is a shill for the IDF, which is a shame.
Mad.
Yeah. He's in a band called Gravesend currently, which is weird because it just makes me think of Kent.
It's Gravesend.
Wait, is it actually?
They're called Gravesend like the players.
Do they know that there's a place?
I don't know because they're American.
Do they know that the English could never possibly take them seriously?
No, I don't think so because they've got a couple.
That
albums
would be
now.
so funny if a death metal band from Gravesend called themselves Gravesend. That would be sick.
I mean, it's a hard name when you think about it, though.
Yeah, especially if they're from Gravesend, it would work on a whole different level. But yeah,
it's one word as well, like place.
I would totally go see Dagenham.
I can tell you about some more weird gigs though, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember Neath?
I remember Wales, yeah.
Neath is a place in Wales, but like for some fucking reason, I played two gigs I've played in Neath.
Maybe Wales is weird.
Why? Why have I played 2 gigs in Neath? But one of them I remember is when I was playing in Angmar, and Dave was in Trolls. Dave Adam was in Trolls of the Mist, and we were playing it. I think Daigora might have been playing this gig as well. Daigora played one of them. I think it might have been this one. There's one, and anyway, yeah, it was Daigora, Angmar, and Trolls in the Mist, and we all came down from London to Neath to play a gig, basically just to each other. But one of the funny things was one of the funny things was there was only one microphone, and the bass player from Trolls in the Mist, Simon, was like, walks into the beer garden where there's just like a pile of shit, just sees a microphone on the floor and picks it up and says, "Can I use this one?" They go, "Yeah, sure." It turns out it was another microphone. It was just sort of on the floor in the beer garden.
Shit.
And I remember, that was it. I played 2 gigs there. One there was with Angmar, that one, and we were literally just playing to ourselves. And that was, I think, like this was before I was in Daigora, but they fucking ended up trashing a hotel room. It was terrible. And I remember there's a big set of stairs that went down towards the beach, and we would always piss and see if we could get a stream of piss that would go all the way down the stairs to the bottom.
I forget how mad those guys were though back in the day.
Madman,
and Reese. Like I remember at Bloodstock one year when they were like fucking trying to set each other's tents on fire.
Well, they did.
They did. Like they did. Like and it's like
they're really bringing the sort of 16-year-old Reading Festival energy to Bloodstock in a way that I did not appreciate.
No. Too old for that now. Too old for that then.
In it, I know, and they think that I'm the irresponsible one. I do responsible irresponsibility.
Look, I like fire as much as the next guy.
In a controlled environment. Exactly. Yeah, fucking the second time playing Neath, we played, but we were also like judges in like a battle of the bands sort of thing.
Fuck me.
I remember it vaguely, but why Neath? Why am I
picked yourselves?
Why are good people from London going to? It's because fucking Gavin. He's not going to watch this podcast. Fucking Gavin. He's just been sodomized. You should just put on these fucking random weird fucking gigs, and then we would play them for some fucking reason.
You know what I did find funny though? I do find funny that he was the main sodomized guy, but I don't think he was on any of their releases because all the drums are programmed. But he was like the main guy.
I can't tell you I've ever listened to any of their releases.
Yeah. Well, I've listened enough. I listened to enough to know it's all.
They sound pretty good live, based on what I can tell from being in the smoking area, chatting some bollocks in the general vicinity.
Yeah, they were fun.
I think I've seen Sodomized Cadaver. I'm pretty sure I've seen Sodomized. I don't know.
I think they're pretty good.
They're fine. Like they were good at Bloodstock.
I'm just being a little bitch. Got in trouble for.
We saw that Bloodstock a few years ago, and they were genuinely like really good at Bloodstock. That's when they had the guy from Extreme Noise Terror on vocals. I
remember I have seen them, and they'd be good.
Yeah, the guy from Extreme Noise Terror.
There was a time where we were just on loads of gigs with them, so like
yeah.
I don't believe anything I say about other bands being in the smoking area. I don't expect anyone who's playing with us to actually come and see us.
Trouble, you are.
Like this is the thing, right? Do you know what it is? Like I give it the same level as I take it. If someone's like, yeah, no, Daigora, I think they sounded right from the smoking, I would not take that person and be like, yeah, fair enough, mate.
Because people did used to chat shit about Daigora. They was like calling you racist and shit. Remember?
I mean, yeah, people of course
idiots,
people have,
but...
because like it's just part of.
You're racist against white people.
Yeah, I know.
Says a radical
we play CRT core. Yeah.
What? That's fucking. I mean, like whenever people ever like chat on like Coming Insurrection / what it used to be. I mean, I think we were so bad that people couldn't. So it's like, well, it's a harsh noise thing at a metal show, and we're on stage just yelling. Get moving, start dancing, dirty goth, like nonce cunts. I remember once I was the first review we ever got. It was, to be fair, it was cheating, right? Because it was a gig with a band that split off from Ackercock, who I'm not going to name. But it was on the day where the gig was delayed for a bit because England were playing Sweden in the World Cup.
Oh, I remember that day. And
England won, which I say this a crowd that has just seen England have a World Cup win easiest fucking crowd you can deal with because they're just so happy. You just have to say it's coming home on stage and it's fine. But at one point I was like, 'cause it was like a black metal gig, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I fucking love black metal, you bunch of fucking Nazi pedophiles. And they put that in Metal Hammer, and they said, oh, this is great. I was like, fucking. I was like, all right.
Well, that guy loved you guys. Was it Jonathan Seltzer?
John Seltzer, yeah.
Yeah, he like championed you guys a little bit, like.
Yeah, that was and then that was like the second. I think that was my favorite gig we did, next to the Nafrak one. But that was because I got to talk to Dave from Anal Nafrak and be like, "Hey, you like philosophy? I like philosophy," and then that was about it for a while. I've read his master's thesis. It wasn't
not impressed.
No, it was good. It was just good. It was just a bit too analytic. It was based on this idea called like error theory, where it's like every moral statement acts like it's like describing a moral fact about the world, but it isn't. And I'm like,
talking at his ass.
Yeah, no, I'm like, it's all right. I'm like,
you can be honest here.
I mean, I think he's fucking boring, to be honest. I think all the cool philosophy is in his lyrics.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to write. His prose is weak.
His prose is English. That's the problem. It's way too fucking English.
See, that's why they don't. That's why they don't publish the lyrics. It's not because they're like edgy. It's because they're not fucking good.
Lyrics are great because I did basically the whole fucking PhD based on like understanding one lyric out of Anal Nafrak's Passion album, because they got one song about Sterner, and I'm like, the first thing I said to him was like, Paragon Pariah.
I do think that's a very underrated album, Passion.
Oh, Passion's a fucking amazing album. I mean, all of their albums, even their later like metalcore albums are pretty good.
The thing is though, like I remember when Passion came out, people thought it wasn't that great, but like I think it's better than like because like obviously like Mick started writing for like Motionless in White and some of that, and they got a bit softer. Like, it's not bad, but like I do think Passion's better than that.
Well, that was that time when Vanitas came out, and then like all
Vanitas
the metalcore kids started listening to it. It was like, wait, what the fuck? It was like, oh hell yeah! It was like,
but everyone loved Endarkenment, the most recent one, and I wasn't that big on it. Like it was fine, but it's like too melodic for me.
I tapped out by that
point. Bringing it back to gigs, I remember I saw Nathrak at I think it was Damnation Festival. But the 2023 Damnation, because I didn't go this year, they played, and it was the first time I was like, oh, this was a sick set, but like, you know, I'll just hang back here because it's not like they're going to play Submission for the Week or something like that. And then they went down in it, and me and Mark just looked at each other and we were like, fuck, we're not going to make it in time. We've got to get all the way through the crowd. But then as we were getting there, they paused and waited before doing the... And I still believe to this day they were specifically waiting for us to position ourselves in the pit and ready. And we just... That was
but that's the Codex Necro is their best album, in my opinion. That is like it's so fucking hard, like fucking grindy industrial black metal.
You know what?
Like,
if you don't know what we're talking about, pause this. Pause this. New tab, YouTube, Anal Nathrak, the Codex Necro. Fill your fucking ears up, cunt. Ridiculous and then album. Listen to the whole thing. Don't worry, we're waiting for you. Don't worry.
Pause 45 minutes, whatever.
Wasn't that fucking sick? Wasn't that was fucking sick, wasn't it?
But the thing is, though, like their whole point was how extreme they are, right? And it's like their newer stuff is like they've got that kind of wall of noise sound to make it seem heavy, but like they're so melodic now, and it's like it's just weird. It's like Substance extreme.
What album was it in? With 2016 was it where they did Forward and they had the most?
The
New Kind of Horror.
Yeah.
New Kind of Horror.
And they had that dubstep. It went hard. It went hard, but like it's so melodic. Like the dubsteppy bits as well. Like
a
New Kind of Horror. That album. The New Kind of Horror.
The dubsteppy stuff never ages well.
I mean, I think so. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's like so like.
I was in Project Orange of all places recently, and they were playing a new Bring Me the Horizon song, and I just thought, like, apparently it's a new one, but I was like, this sounds like it came off Path of Totality, that Korn dubstep album in 2014. This does not sound.
That was fucking 20. That was 2011 or 12, because that came out when I was like year 11.
I think it was like 2013.
It was like because that was like.
No, you're right. It must have been.
Because you know what it was. It's because there was like that crossover at the time, and dubstep was big. And that album,
but dubstep was at its most garbage.
No, I agree. But like that album and A Flash from the Color by Andrew Shikari were like two albums I could play at parties with normies.
I cannot get on with Shikari though.
That's fair.
I fucking love them.
One of their songs, it just does not work for me at all. I saw him live at Glastonbury 2013, and I thought, I don't get it. I still don't get it.
They're fine. Like I like that album back then, but it was like what it was more the crossover appeal. The fact that I could play that with normies because it was dubstep, but also rock. But like they liked
good,
the fact it was dubstep. But you know what? It did its job, mate. It did. It did
essential small town core.
Pendulum was another one. They were popular with the Rebos and the normies.
Yeah, it might not be entertaining, but you fucking agree with it.
Describing it in the functions that the music plays, but it doesn't get away from the fact that it just didn't really work and it wasn't.
Oh no, the thing is, the Korn album especially was shite.
It was
great
the first time you heard it. It was still cool the second time you heard it. By the third time, it wore off very quickly.
But the thing is, the album, it wasn't even good in general. Like what was good was that one song. Get Up and Skrillex had a remix with like harder, and that was the one I liked of it.
I like the narcissistic cannibal.
Yeah,
song. There was 2 songs on there that were good, but it got very old extremely quickly.
Actual Korn's better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big, huge Korn fan.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole like turn towards electronica. You'd think it would work really well because you had like some like pretty cool bands that did it at one point. I mean, you guys remember Hacktivists? Hacktivists are pretty good. And
they were like interesting though. Like because like you know what's bad is that but like the worst thing about them nowadays. But the worst thing now is the gent part. The gent bit's more embarrassing now.
No, I'm sorry, I've got to give a hard disagree. Hacktivist.
Okay, but we can all agree the one thing that hasn't aged well because I revisited it recently because I was like, okay, I'm more into electronica now. Why don't I revisit like this metal electronica fusion album, see if it's aged any better? It still fucking hasn't. Morbid Angels, Illud Divinum, Insanus.
So what's annoying is the death metal one, it's fine. Bit bland, but it's fine. But the other songs are just abominable.
To bring it back there 1 second to Hacktivist, another fact that one thing I know that because I didn't when I was the host of Archie and Yatin's Metal Madness, the award-winning radio show on Queen Mary's Quest Radio, we interviewed John Brown from Monument. He told me, and I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's like fucking like over 10 years later. I remember him saying that basically, I think Nima, who left Monuments, nicked a bunch of their riffs and gave them to Hacktivists. So all their early riffs they nicked off.
Didn't they all fucking? I'm not being funny, like Jen, like it's all like.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you what. That album from Monuments, the Amanuensis, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, that was all right. I like the one before it as well.
There's 2 tracks on there, Atlas and Saga City. Pause this track, right? Go on, open up a new tab on YouTube and just pick one, either Atlas or Saga City by Monument. That was sick, wasn't it? Right? It fucking slapped. I've
got transmission.
Quite good, the first album, but like the thing is, this is the thing that it's Jen, and I've got no time for it. Like, no, I liked it 10 years ago, but that guitar tone is enough to turn me off now.
There are exceptions, though. So
Tesseract's first album was alright as well.
I'm purely talking exceptions here. So those are 2 exceptions.
Bill Jarter.
No, another big exception for me. There's one Australian band called Circles who did an album called.
They're all right, yeah.
Did an album called Infinitas in 2013, and it's just the choruses go so hard. What if I told you there's nothing more for you?
See, a band like that for me was
actually sing. Pause it. Open up. Circles, Infinitas 2013. Check out the first track, Erased, or the track Another Me. Goes fucking hard. That was fucking sick, wasn't it? See, I told you.
I don't think so. They might not. A band like that I liked was like Error, who were like less genty, a bit more proggy metalcore, but they also had like that kind of really like emo-y clean singing, but they were also good at it. And it's like it's one of those things where if I heard it now, I'd probably think, what the fuck's this? But back then it was all right. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird kind of genre that like I like a bit of anything, but you got to be in the mood.
It was a genre that was like made by Big Ibanez to sell loads of Big Ibanez.
Yeah.
Because I bought an 8-string guitar.
I feel like I don't know. It just it feels like it's the twats. It's made by twats for twats.
No, but you know what? Like Ibanez, like the sound gear range, those basses, the necks play themselves. They ain't paying me shit. I'm just telling you, it's basically cheating playing an Ibanez sound gear, high end one like a 6 or 7 upwards. I got an 805 fan fret 5-string. The neck fucking plays itself. I got to hand it to him. So I won't take too much about it. One fucking thing about them is you have to tune that cunt every 5 seconds because it cannot hold a tune to save its goddamn life. So anyway, to bring it back on topic, I feel like we should bring it to the centerpiece of this episode. LIVERFUCK. Was it 2017?
It was 2019. It was 6 years ago this year.
2019. I thought it was earlier than that. Okay.
No, well, so LIVERFUCK figures. LIVERFUCK was an idea I had for a long time.
Yeah. So talk us through LIVERFUCK.
Yeah. So I mean, pause it. Yeah, pause it. LIVERFUCK.bandcamp.co.uk. Listen to that. 6 minutes long. That was sick, wasn't it? But no, so LIVERFUCK was like, so this is my gig story. I don't have many gig stories. Like, I've got a couple, like, you know, but LIVERFUCK is the main one. And like LIVERFUCK was an idea I had when I was like fucking 15 in school. And like I honestly, like, my mates from school like remember it still. But and the joke of it was that nothing would ever happen. Like, it was just like, oh yeah. And then for years nothing ever did. And then I remember, I think it was probably 2018, whatever, 2017, 2018. Me and did a song. We did a single song that was actually quite good. It was meant to be like a grindcore thing, but it ended up being like kind of metalcore. It's a chokey project. But yeah, we did a song, and then like didn't do anything again for like ages. And then one day, my mate Alex messaged me saying she was putting on a gig, and so she was in Leicester. She was putting on a gig in Leicester, and she was like, "Oh, do LIVERFUCK want to do this?" And I was saying like, well, we've only got one song. We don't have any music, you know, like, but I was thinking like,
but yeah,
but the gig was like 2 weeks away or something like that. It was literally like in 2 weeks, but I said like, oh, well, we could maybe do, also working full time. So he said, oh, we could maybe do the EP one weekend. So we do the whole record the EP one weekend and then play the gig the weekend after. Don't need to rehearse. It'll be simple enough. So and he was like, yeah, cool. So the next weekend we recorded the EP. So we did it over 2 days, and so we did 2 songs first day, and then the second day we totally ran out of ideas. So we remastered the first song, edited it a tiny bit, and then did an intro track. So the intro track was actually the very last thing, and it was me totally fucking out of ideas. That's why it can't happen again either, because what would I do? But yeah, we did the EP, and the EP was actually fucking good. Like, I mean, it's got replay value. It's a classic, you know. It goes hard, but
certainly it got replay value.
Yeah, it has replay value when I'm at Archie's every weekend and off my tits thinking, let's put another fuck. But anyway, so like that EP was all good. It was great. Like, honestly, the EP gave us false confidence because I thought, this is sick. We'll play it. It'll be great. We'll just fucking play it twice. You know, I don't need to fucking rehearse it because I've just recorded it. There's no lyrics. You know, it's easy. It's just fucking noises, whatever. So, but anyway, so the next weekend we're going up to Leicester. So we get a bus up to Leicester. And I get obviously drunk as fuck on the bus because that's what I do. So we get drunk as fuck on the bus. We get to Leicester. It's the afternoon. Go to Wetherspoons. I'm already drunk as hell.
As is tradition.
As is tradition. I'm sitting down on the table. I get told off by an old guy for being loud and swearing. Well, if you can't handle the heat, don't come to Wetherspoons.
Yeah, and that's part of the experience of being a pub goth, you know. You're slightly too goth for the pub. You know?
No, exactly.
You're talking shit, you're swearing, and some old pub bloke is going to come up to you. Fucking goth,
exactly. But the thing is, you got to keep it flowing. But yeah, no. So we did that. Then we went into town, bought me some makeup and eyelashes and shit for my half drag for some reason. So the place we played the gig was this place called Mold Factory, which wasn't a venue. It was actually a I don't want to say it's like a storage space, but it was like basically this big building had loads of rooms and you could do whatever you wanted in there. So people like rehearsing there or like saw stuff, and like basically the gig was being held in this place. It was a shithole. But yeah, I remember going to the place and meeting I think not quite soundtracking but like getting everything sorted. But I remember meeting the guy from this band called Nazi Killer, and they had like just had an EP out at the time. And I thought they were fucking sick. And I just remember being like, I only remember this today, but I was like so fucking drunk.
God, are you Nazi?
No, honestly, like I was so fucking drunk. The guy come up and I was like, oh, this is a guy from Nazi Killer. I was like, no, fucking no, I love fucking Nazi Killer. I love Nazi Killer. Like, you're so sick. I was like ugly. I'm like so fucking drunk and sloppy, like. And the thing is that they've actually not done anything since then, and I wonder if I put them off. But yeah, but they had like a song called like Poppy Fucker, which was fucking hard. But anyway, so like the gig itself, so the bands playing were this band called Skin Lover, who were like kind of sick power violence kind of stuff. It was all basically like power violence-y, grindy stuff. So it was Skin Lover, Feral State, us, and another band playing their first gig was Bilecaster. And since then, they've actually played Bloodstock, and they're actually doing really well. But all the other bands were fucking sick, basically. And when it come, we were the third on, or the second or third. I think it was the third on. But what happened was, so for one thing, he didn't bring a lead for his guitar. So he didn't bring a lead for his guitar, so he couldn't plug it in. And I think he had to try and like Bluetooth something. So he didn't bring a back. So basically, he didn't bring a lead for his guitar, so he had to borrow one. And then also he didn't bring the backing track So we had to try and Bluetooth the backing track to a speaker. So basically, nothing was playing. Guitar wasn't playing, and I was so fucking drunk that I was there just fucking walking about. Like I'm wearing these boots as well, these random goth girl boots that have been lent to me. I'm wearing these boots. I'm wearing shorts. I've got fucking eye makeup on, fake eyelashes. I'm pretty sure I fell over a few times as well because the boots did not fit. Like I was rolling on my ankles constantly. And I was like, fucking Noel Edmonds is a fucking paedophile. Like, fucking Noel for you tree. Like, while the music's not playing, I'm literally just there fucking shouting shit about fucking paedophiles and fucking BBC Operation U Tree. And like, no music happening. And then every time like the music seems like it's about to happen, and then like it just pops. And basically, like, we just waste so much time that like, I think we just held up. Everything was going so well. And we just held up the entire fucking thing. And yeah, like so basically, so yeah, we just waited. Gig went total shit. So no music got played. It was people I knew were there as well, come to watch it.
I love your mum and dad. But
my mum and aunt nearly came, and honestly, it was. But what was so funny? And honestly, after the gig, I was such a state, and I'm going around saying, "Oh, I haven't got any fucking numbers." Numbers for Leicester, but yeah, honestly, it was bad though because I didn't feel any shame for like months. And I remember like walking early one day and just like thinking like, that was a bit embarrassing. That was bad. But what was funny as well was that that place, Mold Factory, literally got shut down the next day, like for good. I think it's been demolished now. Like, but yeah, that was like the last thing that happened there, basically. And I blame that on LIVERFUCK too. So like, we're not allowed back in Leicester now. The whole from Leicester. Honestly, it couldn't have gone more tits up.
I love how that's the only gig you've ever
done. No, but at the end of the gig, I remember at the end of the gig, I was like,
so much better. Never do another gig.
But how could you top that? At the end of the gig, I remember being like, oh no, the EP is actually quite good. The EP is actually quite good.
How could you top that?
No, but I love that was our only gig. So we literally did the EP for that gig and fucked it. Like we absolutely fucked it. And I was a state. I was a fucking state.
So this recap. So you go to a squat gig. You're third on. You don't have any cables, so you can't play the EP you recorded for that one gig.
Yeah.
You just get too tanked, keep making paedophilia accusations against Noel Edmonds in the face of no music.
EP. It's like it is relevant.
Okay, grammatically coherent, but they wouldn't know that
he was played.
It's just you and half drag making accusations against Noel Edmonds, and then
someone with a guitar and no lead trying and failing to play any kind of sound, while an incredibly drunk person in half drag rambles about paedophiles.
See, if I was to put myself in the audience's shoes, I would have thought it was quite tragic.
Would have fit better.
Yeah, I wouldn't have fell over so much. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. You know what's funny as well was what I was also remembering. So one thing was Connor was there, and I told him like, oh, it'd be really funny if you just were there and like holding a mic stand, pretending to play guitar. And after the gig, he went up to Alex. I think he said something like, oh, I don't think my guitar will sound too great. And she was like, yeah, yeah. It's like and you know what's also, we got paid for it. We I tried to refuse the money, but because we travelled up, I guess we paid for it. But like, I did try to refuse money, but it was based on those things, just like, you know, people give what they want and they give it out to the bands, and I did try to refuse, but yeah.
So imagine getting drunk. Okay, I'll accept the
honestly,
money.
There's so many levels to how tragic it was. I'm just obviously remembering different bits, like what, like,
honestly,
you know,
like that's so much like better than I remember it. Like I wasn't there, but it's just better than, I'm gutted that I wasn't there.
It's a great
story time.
The thing is, though, like I realized from the start how good a story it was, and that's why I didn't feel embarrassment for months.
No, you did it for the plot, essentially.
No, exactly. It was the law.
No, I mean, and that is
like LIVERFUCK wasn't meant to happen. They said it couldn't be done.
They said it, and apparently it couldn't.
We went out in a blaze of glory.
We went out in a blaze of paedophile accusations to incredibly bemused.
But did Noel Edmonds come to me? Because like he obviously didn't deny them. No, but he didn't deny them.
No, he didn't.
I think he's hiding something under his patio.
Okay.
I heard from him for a while.
I just love that. That's the only attempt at a gig ever. It's just that. I'm more glad it went like that than it went well, because if it went well, I probably would have forgot about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played lots. To be fair, I've played loads of gigs that have gone well, and so I've just forgotten.
If it went well, the EP, I probably wouldn't care about it as much. You know, it wouldn't have like it just wouldn't. Like the EP is actually good. That's the thing that makes it even worse, or like seem worse.
Yeah.
Like
also, I found Nazi Killer. I found Nazi Killer's Bandcamp.
Mate, they're fucking really
some
good. Like
cracking song titles. Well, actually, I say cracking. A lot of them aren't that good, but Poppy Fucker definitely
Poppy
up
Fucker,
there.
great. I want to do a band called Poppy Fucker or Poppy Shagger or something like that. Like,
yeah, but would it go well with the Americans though? Because they might just think you're sexually
about the
harassing
Americans.
Poppy. You know, it's like you really fucking hate Knock Loose.
I hate
like-
Americans. You'll have to censor that for the release.
No, I think
Oh, it's going to be so many burps. So I just put like a burp over every name. I was going.
yeah, every name, redacted.
There'll be some pretty good sampleable ones that I've done. On this episode.
Oh god, yeah, the burp I sampled before, but like for the last episode, you know, listen, if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. We do some like serious sex education and tackling sexual abuse in the goth community, but also there's a lot of burps in it because anytime we say something that would get us arrested, we have to put a
Can't
burp
take
on
anything
top of it.
seriously.
You can't. I mean, this is what we need. This is what we need in bands like the. To be honest, I think these days, if you did like a fully dragged up performance, just screaming at people, I would go to that.
I think it was fun. I think it was funny that it was like the most like kind of half-ass drag. Like I was literally just dressed in like fucking slam shorts and a death metal shirt and a snapback, but I was wearing those goth boots and fucking eyelashes and eye makeup. Like it was just so half-assed, but it kind of worked. Like I've always said, I think my drag name would be like Linda or something. I think I give Linda vibes.
Okay.
What, Linda McCartney?
Just Linda. No, Linda McCartney.
Linda McCartney comes with sausage.
It's more of a dinner lady kind of vibe.
Drag dinner lady. You know what? That's a uniquely British vibe. I don't think we've yet captured.
British, like classic British drag, is like so different. Like it's much more kind of like, well, drag is comical in general, but like British drag like is more comical. Like, you know, fucking like Lily Savage and all that.
Yeah, Daniel LaRue, people like that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
like drag has had an intersection of metal in the past, like Sharon Needles, but like drag has never like been fully embraced by like metal. I mean, goth bit more, but like metal, like definitely less, despite the fact that what is corpse paint, but a kind of drag in a way.
Literally, drag's so cool.
All right, can we get Varg Vikernes on RuPaul's Drag Race? This is the question.
Guest judge.
Well, look,
sashay away.
Look, who will be lip syncing for their life? Let's find out. Like, fuck. Actually, to us, black metal drag would be pretty good. Kieran, if you're listening, can we get some sort of black metal drag thing going on? I think the Black Heart could pull it off. To be honest, it'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I think that'd be
right place.
We need like a goth we need like a goth version of Dawson Superstore that isn't just going to slimes.
I'm so done with shit like that anyway.
Yeah,
not got the energy.
I mean, I haven't had the energy this week, certainly.
I've not had the energy ever. I think since COVID.
I haven't had the energy to go outside in the last 3 days. The air
scares you've got a reason though.
Yeah, the air is scary.
It's scary, airy.
I'm getting the need to do gigs again.
Poison me.
I'm getting the need to gigs again because like it is weird we are just living in the Fourth Reich now, and I'm like, I do just want to scream a little bit. I'm like, why can't I turn the screaming into a performance and then charge people money for that?
Sorry, but on that note, Fourth Reich by Catharsis, incredible black metal release. And also the main guy in Catharsis is actually I think he's a uni lecturer in Germany, and he did like LGBT studies. I think he's gay. But yeah, no, he's a smart guy. But yeah, Catharsis, Fourth Reich.
So he's written the band Catharsis, Fourth Reich. So he's not writing it on the side of the Fourth Reich.
No, absolutely. He's left wing, lib at worst.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I can say with regard to gigs and screaming is you should come to Dev in Camden on the 15th of February.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it is.
I hate gigs with Dev though. Too tight. They always get good gigs though.
It is a bit sardine can, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, it's always good
because you got Atom. It's Tom Calcraft's last gig with Atom.
How are they going to replace him?
I don't know.
Bass only.
We don't know, but he's going to be playing his last show on the 15th. Dagoro is going to be playing. We're going to be playing. Slaughter Side's gonna be playing. They're great, and Grandad are playing. It's an underbelly promotion.
Carthage are playing, right?
It's gonna Carthage must be
geriatric grind.
So it's a stacked lineup.
Did you say cartilage?
Carthage must be
Carthage. Oh yeah, the boys.
Big up Badley, Sash. Yeah.
Fucking stacked lineup, free of charge. Camden Town, the Dev, 15th of February. And if you're not available then, 22nd of February.
If you're not available, then fuck you.
Yeah. And then 22nd of February, we are supporting Street Soldier at the
Nonce Killer.
The New Cross Inn.
No weapons killer.
And I have to say, actually, one thing I can say, I was in New Cross recently. Shout out to the Communist Kebab. I thought, oh, there's a kebab place called The Communist. I have to go there to see what it's like. And even if it's shit, I have to pretend that I like it. But I didn't have to pretend anything because genuinely, really, really fucking good. I'm talking.
Did they give you theory though?
You can get the Marx meal. You can get the Che Guevara meal.
It feels like they kind of like
get the Lenin meal.
It feels very like capitalist. Do they not give you the theory with it, or are they just like constantly
yeah. Mac. It's on the walls. There's lots of literature.
We're not just trying to make a profit on our boys.
Little pamphlets. There's lots of shit you can read everywhere. It's a lefty place. What I'm saying is important shit. They make the bread. The bread is fresh.
No. What they got to do is there's
so
what I'm saying is what I'm telling you, Mr. and Mrs. and otherwise audience, not to otherize the otherwise, is that you should come to. If you're around on the 22nd of Feb in London, you should come and see Street Soldier with Daigoro supporting, and you should first fuel yourself up with a delicious kebab from the Communist Kebab.
Sounds like New
Cross. And we've got other shows coming up. If you're Japanese, if you're coming out to us from the land of the rising sun, we're playing Gakiko Fest, playing the pre-show Coffins on the 18th of Feb, Wildside Tokyo, and we're playing the 22nd of Feb, Wildside Tokyo. No, not Feb, April. What am I talking about? And we've got some other shows. Check out daigoro.com for other shows we've got coming up.
Also a new video. Also,
my opinions that I say do not represent the opinions of Daigoro, the band.
You know what we need to do? Mention those. We need to premiere Insurrect's single.
We do. Can we do that? Should we do that?
Can we have a single?
Wait, not we, because we're not in it.
There's the test mix from Cam that counts as a single, but the EP is actually gonna be ready like soon as hell. Like it's nearly done.
Oh, did the guys tell you that?
Yeah.
Yeah, one
the
song.
Guys in Interact.
We forgot a song.
They told me there's one song left being mixed, and that was a few days ago, so it's nearly all mixed, and it's gonna sound fucking great.
We're gonna play this. Are we gonna play this shit live? I know not us because we're not in the band,
I don't think
live.
I don't think I could. No, I don't think. Yes, no. Yes. I don't know if they could do it live as well. It wouldn't be as good, I don't think, unless they practiced.
But yeah, I mean, also they would have to do a gig, and it would be if they've only ever done one gig, and it's the most spectacular.
I think that's actually not my only gig. I actually played with Hydra years ago, and it was supporting Abhorrent Decimation's album launch at the Unicorn. And
I missed the Unicorn.
It was because everyone was at Metal Days, so I was like just there. So yeah, no, but that actually went quite well. That went really well.
I remember Hydra.
2016.
I think so. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Halcyon days. Ah, what a time!
But we're so fucking
cool, like
that was a very long time ago.
So what's Instructable for this week, Archie?
So the Instructable. So you've got two this week. You're going to learn two things. So I'm going to teach you one thing, which is a very important life skill, very brief one. But a lot of people don't know how to do it these days. And I feel like with the rise of vapes, people are not knowing this. How to open a bottle with a lighter. Now, I don't care if you don't smoke. You should have a lighter on you. Even if you vape, you should have a lighter on you. It's just a matter of practice. You should always have a lighter in your pocket, right? And when you get used to it, it's actually easier to do it with a lighter than with a bottle opener.
Save it for the instructional.
So you're gonna see that, and then our special guest, the Pope of Pub Goth, Nesta Mac, yes Mac, is going to show you how to pour a perfect Maggie and Sprite and how that's done, which is a critical pub goth beverage for the masses.
I saw the weirdest fucking thing the other day, right? I saw fucking snooze that's Maggie's flavored. Maggie's now do snooze.
As a Magnum?
I don't know how
Did you buy
about
it?
this. I feel it's low key.
I didn't buy it.
Why the hell did you buy it?
I quit alcohol. I don't want to make myself.
I don't even do snooze tonight. I buy that on the spot. You know what? You know what's annoying is I used to love like snuff and snooze, but I left one in a bit too long once, and ever since then, like I felt amazing when I just felt like, oh, I feel sick, and like ever since then, tobacco and nicotine just fucks me.
you get a come up on them, and then you feel like, okay, I need blood sugar now, or else I'm just going to die.
No,
It's like
exactly. You
it's
feel
like
like
a come up
nausea.
with
It's
nothing.
awful.
But actually, I'll buy a box of the Maggie snooze.
Yeah, I'd try that.
It
I'd give it a
just
go
makes-
for the put in your Maggie while you're drinking your Maggie. You know, see how it makes you feel.
It's double fucking Maggies. You also always get like the cool like not knockoff ones, like tonic drinks that it's just explicitly on it. It says like this is just
Well, like
sexy.
Sherry B and Raga and like.
They're not even Raga, like ones that are just called like tonic, and it just has a picture of people fucking on it. Like
I don't even fucking. You know what,
I
mate?
ain't even seen
That's uncharted territory, mate. I'm not in them waters.
this is proper. This is
I
proper
stick
Hackney
to the good
Central
shit and the good shit only, sir.
Oh yes, the good shit, mate. Oh, can they make like a Maggie Zero, or is that just cow
Point,
fault?
no, that's just fucking juice with caffeine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the L on this one.
It's cherry,
Probably
it's
have to
cherry flavor.
synthesize it yourself.
It's
you
like
know?
what you want, like
just drink cough syrup.
yeah, it's literally medicine, isn't it?
Yeah,
Drink
but-
medicine with a bit of Sprite. I mean, I call fucking Maggie and Sprite Caribbean lean anyway.
I might just have to relapse
hyped
just for
up
the
though,
sake of it at this
insane.
point, because I'm like, if you haven't had one relapse, where you really addicted, you know?
You know, I never got hooked on cigarettes, and that made me think I didn't have an addictive personality. It just fucked my whole life.
Turns out you do.
Yeah, no, literally in every other way. Like why? How the fuck did I not get? I smoked so much, but I never got addicted, and because of that, I just thought, yeah, I can do anything now.
I don't. Yeah, I have to say, I don't find nicotine addictive.
We're just built different.
No, I
I'm
don't
just
find
like,
it.
no.
I just really like it.
I've ever the only thing that is addictive is weed and maybe alcohol.
Yeah, weed is like like you thinking about weed is like it's not that I need it, but I definitely want it.
Weed is just generally just fucking
Right.
sick.
Yeah.
Nicotine addiction is weird because I think it's also kind of a tactical thing because nicotine withdrawal is a combat stim because I accidentally gave myself nicotine withdrawal like a week ago and I was like, why am I so fucking angry all of the time?
I'm already really angry.
I'm like, why do I feel like I want to why I just want to punch something? It's like, oh, okay, I haven't had like a snooze or something. I was like, shit, is that what it actually is?
Never get that. Never gotten that.
Snoozkers.
You know what it is? Because like with non-smokable nicotine, you can just keep it in all the time. There's no ritual, so there's no like stop gaps. You just kind of like constant, especially if you do like a writing job. It's like it's just a fucking good writing.
That's what the footballers do. It's so funny watching them on TV when you see one like secretly trying to put it in their lip.
But see, I need something that's more of like a direct stimulus. Like I need to roll a.
See, that's why I like
cigarette.
That's why I like snuff though.
I need the rituals because the ritual is more than half the deal. Is the little ritual, the little stimulus. How am I going to break up my day and give something to occupy my brain?
Keep me occupado. No, don't think the bad thoughts.
Yeah.
You need a fidget spinner that gets you high. I think that's kind of gonna be the new frontier.
I mean, that's why I go for like walks every day. That's why I go for walks every day, and it's like my face will be like stone the whole time, but like my mind will be like a roller coaster. Like the emotions I'll be going through. Like
roller coaster, just gotta ride it.
But that's it. Like my face.
Shout out Ronan Keating.
But yeah, no, honestly.
Hang on, whoa. Is Ronan Keating pub goth?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay.
Fucking Boyzone.
Hey, baby.
Have some fucking respect for the term.
No, he's not. I was just asking the question.
Jesus. Well, maybe ask less.
Ronan Keating is definitively not pub goth. What's that?
It's Gary Barlow, pub goth.
Being northern does not make you goth. I'm sorry. I'm saying this straight up. Like you may have come from a place of grim darkness.
I think there's too much propaganda,
degradation, but
degradation.
No, to be fair, we can't start north-south discourse. London is also shit.
I love the northerners, but I just think the southerners are underrated. You know, we get a lot of shit for being southern, but it's like we're not bad people.
I don't know. We kind of are.
But I think what it is, I think in London there's just too many people. Like there's more people in London than Scotland and Wales put together.
Yeah. In London, there's too many people also. Have you met people from Surrey?
What the hell are you trying to say?
Why?
It's just kind of... It's kind of just like...
No, I do. It's like, Raz, is this garage?
It's just
like... mate, where's my backy?
We covered this in the Croydon episode with David. It's like, you know, when you get into the more suburban, you know, ring doorbell brigade kind of area, the petty bourgeoisie...
Yeah. The thing is that's like, but that's more of I think a kind of working class middle class. That like it's not a north-south thing as much.
It's not
kind
a
of a class
thing. You get it across the board. But the home counties, particularly, in those kinds of areas are like real strongholds of like of Tory wankery.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not even trying to get deep about it. I just don't like being talked to in public. I just like keeping to myself.
Well, that's the thing. If like Northern, why don't people talk to each other in London? Because it'd be fucking pandemonium, wouldn't it? There's too many people.
What have I got to say?
All right.
Apart from all this, I don't know. It just freaks my nut out.
No,
Like,
so I was talking on the tube. No, sorry, this is
honestly, like
the tube is a harsh noise experience. It's not.
Oh yeah, but it's good
experience. It's not. Talk.
But like, no, honestly, the worst thing for me was like when I was in like Scotland. I was in like rural Scotland, somewhere in like, well, not quite, but I was in like Perth, and I was at a bus stop. And like the bus stops have no signs. You're just fucking playing your luck. And like, I remember like this girl just started talking to me. I'm thinking like, I don't even know where I am. It's like I'm trying to like contain my thoughts here. I don't have time for pleasantries, you know. That's not even a fucking sign. You know what's annoying is that,
excuse me, madam, I do not wish to be perceived at this moment.
But you know, in some of the rural places, the buses will stop on both sides of the road. Like some of them will stop on both. Like it's like I've got no idea what's going on. But yeah, but anyway, that's what I'm saying. It's like all it is like the logistics are just too fucked for them to be happy all the time. You know,
I like my alienation. I like my abstraction. I like my timetables. I like my spreadsheets.
Yeah,
I
want it clear.
I mean, obviously, it's British order, so it doesn't work in the slightest. But god damn it, it's ours that doesn't work.
God damn, they tried.
Thought someone looking endlessly at a thing that is giving me wrong information about what's about to happen.
Read an advert for the millionth time. Erectile dysfunction.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. He's just sort of staring at us like, oh yeah, Floridix. Actually, yeah, that sounds alright. Yeah.
Yeah, might be worth a punt.
I don't know. Tube adverts now have gotten worse. I've noticed sort of like Etsy adverts where it's like make house sharing livable. Or there was one, my favorite one.
Wait, what? Etsy's a renting place now.
It's like you make your flat nice. Or there's one that it was like a vegan bacon thing. It's like that our parents had the housing boom, but we have vegan bacon that tastes like real bacon.
Well, that's a shit fucking payoff, isn't it?
I was like, what? And then the other one I love, which was HSBC's advert for like it is for a good service, which is for a service like if you're being like financially manipulated or abused by like, your partner or something, you can go talk to them. But the tagline they had for it was, if they control your finances, they control your life. And I'm like, you're a fucking bank.
We'll just call you an idiot.
Do you know what? This gets us onto another topic. Do you guys ever like take in like? Because I don't really get the tube very often. I usually get the train, obviously coming up from Croydon. So I'm more acquainted with what I really look out for is the passenger safety information posters, because some of them I really like. Like for some reason, the Southern Rail passenger safety information poster I think is hilarious. And especially when they've got like little people and they're sort of like this, and I don't know what it is. It just always amuses me. It amuses me so much that as a Christmas present, Scarlett got me a coffee mug with the Southern Rail passenger safety information printed on it.
Very thoughtful.
That's very cute.
I'm gonna have to show the audience.
It say like I'm just imagining it says "see it, say it sorted," but
British Transport Police.
Well, that's the fun thing is like when like Americans come over, like American mates come over, and they say like, "Is that say that all the time?" I was like, "Yeah."
See, look, it's got the. She has to take a picture.
Oh my god! Is it what on a phone?
On the phone because you couldn't get the artwork and the right sort of rendering, but that's the. Just like the arrows and stuff on it. I just think it's really funny for some reason. It just cracks me up. The one on the Overground's good as well. They don't call it the Overground anymore. I freaked out.
They've got all different lines.
They've renamed it all. And to be fair, it makes sense. It does make sense. It just took me a moment. I had a little meltdown when I was like, wow, I need to get the Overground. And I couldn't find it on the map because I couldn't find the Overground because I was trying to get this fucking suffragette line now or something.
The Lioness's line.
The Windrush line. Like that was it. I was trying to get the Windrush line, and it's like, and I was trying to explain to Scarlett this whole thing. It was like they call it the Windrush line.
It's so insulting.
They call it the Windrush line at the same time they're literally deporting
them out.
literally deporting people who were born in this country for not having the right papers that they willfully and knowingly destroyed. But they named a train after you.
But they named
it. But now but look, we can't because this is Anyway, that's a whole other topic. Maybe we could talk about that on the next episode.
Yeah, this is the thing. Britain will literally like kill your nan, like forcibly deport a whole generation of black elders, and in response, name the line.
The thing is, so like in Britain,
and get people to clap
but the thing is, like,
clap for your nan that we all killed.
But in Britain though, like they actively vote for like what is worse for everyone. Like we don't think we deserve better. Like, you know, the British public doesn't think they deserve any better. Like people complain about like their wages and shit. Like it's like, oh, these people are like, you talk about like minimum wage, like other people, and you think like, oh, that's too much. It's like, no, like that's not too much. You're getting fucked. Like, you know, it's like it's not that they're getting, it's like you're getting fucked over as well. You know, like we're all getting fucked. Like you only have to look at how like a little spending power we have compared to our parents, who weren't even like even if they weren't doing particularly well, it's fucking worse now. You know, like it's so silly. But that's it. The public they're like fucking masochists. You know, like
it's just spite.
You don't deserve it, and you'll be fucking happy about it.
Yeah, well, we talked about this before. It's like the idea that somebody would get something that they don't deserve is more of an abhorrent idea to the British public.
Crabs in a bucket.
And somebody really needs something, not getting it. They'd rather that person not get it than someone who doesn't deserve it getting something they don't deserve. It's like that's a more offensive.
No, honestly,
idea.
They're crabs in a bucket. They're crabs in a bucket.
I mean, I saw a statistic earlier that just fucking shocked me, and it turns out, right, that adjusting for inflation, our parents' generation, right, could afford on average 6 to 10 more Black Sabbath concerts in a year than we can in just one.
Thing is, though, then take into account the Tony Martin ones in the 80s have been even cheaper.
Yeah,
ridiculous. And you know what? They didn't even appreciate them either. So they had it so good, and they fucked it for all of us.
The thing of the Tony Martin era, though, is a real period of stagflation for Black Sabbath.
Stagflation.
You know, I think it was during the oil crisis, I think. And I think at some point Jimmy Carter must have done something to piss the Soviets off, and Tony Martin was just really difficult to get in this part of the world. That and the austerity, that's why
Tony Martin.
Well, that's why with austerity they took fucking Tony Iommi's fingertips off, didn't they?
Yeah, fucking they thought someone come back in time, fucking cut him off. That will stop him becoming a dictator, killing everyone. Said he just made metal.
Yeah, well, otherwise, Labour was going to try and stop him from claiming disability benefits.
Fuck. Otherwise, they're all going to unionise, and Aussie wouldn't have had that.
Well, this is the thing. Segueing over. I mean, the thing, obviously, the fact that everything's getting shitter means that often, if people want to put on events, you've got to do it very DIY these days.
Everyone's shutting down now as well.
Well, all the shit's shutting down. But that brings on to the gig that we played last summer, right? To bring it back onto gigs. Played that skate gig that Harry put on.
Oh yeah!
Shout out! We'll get Harry on a show because he's exceptionally pub goth. I was at Mannion's. We were at Mannion's last weekend, which is an exceptionally pub goth. I mean, it's really that tension between goth and pub.
I mean, it definitely makes you feel too goth for the pub.
You feel too goth for the pub,
and they'll tell you that you're too goth.
They'll tell you, you know, cut your hair, hippie. Not literally, but like you feel like they're going.
Shake those sideburns.
But at the same time, it's just absolutely chock full of goths and metalheads, who are like distinctly pulling the vibe in their direction. But yeah, so we played this gig in summer that Harry put on. I remember we nearly didn't play it because it was outdoors in the skate park in Tottenham. And I think there was some sort of like vague agreement with the council, but they'd been shut down by the Met.
Well, the year before got shut down, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a few. I think it was a couple of years.
That was COVID thing. COVID rules.
It was 2021. It got shut down by the feds, and I remember just fucking legging it. But this time they couldn't get the generator going, and so we didn't think the gig was going to go ahead. They found a second generator that wouldn't start. I think eventually they found a third generator that got going. So we did manage to play this gig. And then it was a really cool gig to play. And then they had like some BMXs jumping through a ring of fire in the skate park. So that was fucking sick. And that's the thing in this climate, if you want something cool to happen, you kind of have to claim the land.
Yeah. And they're the kind of gigs that are good though, you know.
To reclaim the commons and do it yourself.
I got arise ye diggers.
Arise ye fucking diggers. Reclaim the commons and put on a sick gig. And that's how it goes.
You should start a band called Gerard and the Winstanleys.
Gerard and the Winstanleys, I like that.
Little folk project.
And then we went to and then I remember a few people maybe were engaged in some fungal activities, and we were in Mannion's, and that was quite funny.
Yeah, it's a good place.
That was a great gig, that one.
Yeah,
and I think Grey Brain closed it down. They were playing in the dark, slow demmy shit. Fucking sick. Shout out Harry. Shout out skate gigs.
They're always good fun.
Jam.
Yeah.
Big
like,
up.
We do need to fucking like start reclaiming. Like when I was at the fucking metal conference a few months ago, I was like, this is a land problem, lads. We can't just like metal our way out of this. We need to actually start seizing some fucking land or some fucking. I mean, obviously the crust punk's way ahead of us on this.
So far
Like,
ahead.
I kind of hate that it's always crusties making their thing black metal.
Yeah.
Like I love crust punk, but less of it.
We love crust punk, but like, I mean, the cops, given how they're still cracking down, might end up fucking speeding at that, sadly. But like, I don't know, I appreciate crust pigs and like punk stores. It's the only place I know where I can get metal records, and like, there's no chance of me accidentally giving money to the cause of fascism.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, anytime I go buy a metal record, now I'm like, okay, I just have to know the band in advance. I can't just look for an artist anymore. I'm gonna go back, say, oh, this is fucking sick. Google them, and they'll be like, oh.
What's your line though, Adam? Like, where would you stop? Like,
Where would I stop?
Is there conservative or right wing, or does the music have to be dodgy itself?
I think it's gotta be fashy. It's got to be fashy and actively sort of being propaganda for fascism. Because I remember once,
I don't care if like a member was once in the thing or that, because like honestly, like when you're a young kid, you just want to fucking play music and you don't necessarily like know shit.
Well, it's like
but if you're actively in the band that's actively promoting that.
Well, it's like in my opinion, of Burzum and Bart Vikernes is that his YouTube channel is much more dangerous than his music ever was. You know,
True.
like the thing of his, like, as much as he's always been a dodgy guy, like the music was never what he was using to push whatever agenda he has. But his YouTube channel, like, fuck me, like, this,
oh god, his
the thing is though, like, it's not like he's popular with people like aside from the music, you know, and like these kind of people are only getting more attention, especially like, you know, with X and all that, or Twitter. And honestly, like, so like with like Burzum, like, couldn't, like, obviously the music's not dodgy, but like obviously he is, and that my opinion, like, with them is that, like, his YouTube is the much more dangerous, because it's actually pushing the ideas to a pretty decent sized audience.
And sometimes if bands are like thematically conservative, it doesn't always necessarily mean that it's directly propagandistic. It's not always centered. Like the example I give, right, is Dying Fetus's views on income tax. I didn't realize this, but Dying Fetus have some really fucking strong views on income tax.
Like, they're weird though, because like they're weirdly like conflicting and stuff. I think they're just like libertarians, aren't they?
Yeah. Like I remember I got the Descent into Depravity on vinyl. I started looking at the lyrics. I don't know what the fuck any of these lyrics are, but I was like, looking at the song "Conceived into Enslavement," and it's literally a song about income tax. And I'm like, look, this is a bit Stuart Lee, because I'm like, it's like talking about the values of the Carphone warehouse. It's like, I don't give a shit about Dying Fetus's views on income tax. They're not like, their whole point of that band isn't to promote the cause of like income tax.
But it's the first song on the album is fucking Opium of the Masses on Destroy the Opposition.
Yeah.
Fucking Mark's quote. Like they've always been like kind of, you know, they're weird though, because they've also got like songs that are like kind of anti-abortion as well, haven't they? Like, and they've got one on their last album. Well, I've always thought they were kind of like libertarian, but not either left or like, I always thought the earlier stuff, like Destroy the Opposition, seemed kind of left to me. It seemed more of satirical. It's like Destroy the Opposition seemed like a kind of satirical take on like the American War Machine, all that kind of thing. But but then like other stuff about them, like, you know, like, so on their last album they had a song that was kind of I think the lyric was kind of about like fucking I fucking can't remember what it was, but it's basically like edgy shit about fucking their fans, like fucking, you know, like it was basically really cringy, edgy online shit, you know, shit that doesn't belong in death metal lyrics. But obviously the songs go hard as fuck, it doesn't matter. It's Dying Fetus. But like,
bands start writing about being online, that's when I usually tap off. Like when like a thrash band does something, you know? Like if any band does anything about the words cancel culture, I'm like, you people had your brain melted.
But the thing is though, it's not like you can actually make out their lyrics anyway.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know. I don't know what the song titles are on the last album. Like
basically, there is a zone of cringe which invalidates everything called the Radke zone, and if you start sounding like Ronnie Radke, you sort of you enter the zone of exception, the special zone in which it's just not possible to listen without like that pissing yourself laughing.
Too much.
Ronnie Radke, if you're listening to this, could you go out and find when people call you a cunt? You're a cunt.
Ronnie Radke, if you listen to yourself.
Do we have to?
That's a burp.
We might have to burp.
We might have to burp. I don't know. Do we have to? Listeners, write in. Do we have to bleep it if we tell someone to themselves?
Do we have enough listeners that someone would write in? I don't think we do. If you comment on our shit because it's good for the shit.
I mean, these episodes getting like 100 views a go. I think I'm going to give them another boost on Acid Horizon. But shout out to the Acid Horizon listeners who have migrated from.
This is your
Shout out the live crew.
This is your like detritus brain rot shite that you can listen to after you've had your vegetables.
I don't even listen to podcasts.
Yeah, like so you come like from us talking about like microfascism to the side of podcasting where it's really just we're just selling you guys sort of a loneliness casino. You're part of the gang. You're a pub goth. You're an honorary pub goth. We are. This is parasociality. It always works.
But also, I do genuinely believe in the identity of the pub goth. I've not actually identified with a label in the past more than I identify with pub. I'm ride or die for this shit, man.
I do feel like it might end up being my legacy.
It may well be
because it's actually stuck, and it does have you hear it and you think, yeah, it makes sense.
It's a sort of bridge as well, It's a sort of magical bridge from one world into another.
Everyone I've told about it, when you explain it, it's like what's pub goth? It's like, well, you're too pub for the goths, but you're too goth for the pubs. It's like, you know what? I get that.
You know what? It's a working class hero thing because we can't all afford new rock boots,
Mine didn't fit.
Well, maybe you can, but you also like a pint of Ruddles. Maybe you're like, I hope this pub has cask ales.
Now Ruddles is going. Ruddles? Like, okay, wait. Is that a meme?
Rose on a budget.
I don't care for Ruddles, but I like a good best. I was in a pub in the Anchor pub. It's an expensive one. It's the Anchor pub in where is it? Like in Borough. Big bruh. Which has also shout out Bow in Borough in Bra. Fucking sick. It didn't go that time, but yeah, went to Anchor and they had a cracking best. I like it when they have a good best cask. Because I'm an old man like that. I love a fucking good cask best. Ruddles is a budget best, but it's still alright.
I like Belhaven best when I go to Scotland.
I'll have to try that when I go to Scotland. But yeah,
probably wouldn't like it. It's kind of a basic one.
It's that's a very pub drink. Is a proper best,
Right. I'm giving a call out to our listeners right now. A call out to listeners right now. If there's any of you Acid Horizon and a lot of you work in different fields, can someone please make alcohol that's good for you? Because I could murder a fucking on it.
I saw something about in Colombia they were saying about making Coke that's like no worse for you than like booze and like doesn't give you like come down to some shit.
So, oh no, that's just cocaine. Soon. They said that's cocaine. They're like cocaine's. Like,
oh no, it's cocaine. But they're saying it's better for you than booze. They're saying it's like no worse, whatever. And honestly, big things coming soon.
The reason they keep it illegal is so they can keep criminalizing people and so that they haven't got to like the money goes into like the tax system.
And if you want to understand more about that, tune into episode 2 of Pub Goth Transmission where we dissect that idea.
Decriminalize cocaine.
And if we've got if we want to go, one thing I've gotten really into a new hyperfixation of mine is cob curing. Been reading a lot about cob curing. So basically, it's when you ferment weed. So it's the Malawians are the sort of leaders of doing it. They would grow the legendary Malawi Gold sativa weed. But what they would do is they would, when they dry, they compress it and wrap it in a corn husk. And then they would stick it in a thatched roof above where the goats would defecate because it creates heat and it sweats the weed and it ferments, basically. They leave the weed to ferment a bit.
They couldn't have done that without the goat shit.
Well, no, the goat shit is just where the heat comes from. So the modern way of doing it is you basically would just like take weed, you dry it for a bit, like 48 hours, 72 hours, and then you wrap it in a corn husk, and then you just vac seal it and put it somewhere like 40 degrees C for like a day, let it sweat, and then you let it like ferment for like a week, and then you open it and let it dry out. And what happens is a lot of the plant matter breaks down in the fermentation process, so it actually condenses the strength of the weed. So makes it like a lot stronger. So it's an old method of weed concentration. It's not quite hash, but it's in that direction. So I've gotten really into the idea of cob curing and weed fermentation recently. It's been a real hyperfixation of mine recently.
I'm just imagining like a century egg for weed.
It's
It
like
comes
weed
out.
kimchi.
Yeah, it is like weed kimchi. Yeah, basically.
Oh, do you know, Weed Kimchi. What a fucking
Dog
band name.
Yeah,
I would fucking love Weed Kimchi. Play Masters of the Riff. I might actually go to Masters of the Riff, actually.
Is that which is Masters of the Riff?
It's like the one in March. It's got like Elephant Tree, Dope Throne, Margarita Witch Cult. It's like a 3-day long Doom Fest in Hackney. Because Hackney only does Doom metal now because it's gentrifier core. It's that middle class psychedelia of like, I've got nothing to do, so I'm going to imagine myself out of my email job for a little bit.
Isn't that just like black metal?
I need to write some sort of a paper on the theory of gentrifier Doom because it is like, I love it enough to tell it. It's a gentrifier drama.
I mean, I like Doom, but I totally get what you mean, and I can understand how it's caught on because it's kind of it's always been kind of hipstery. It's always been kind of hipster adjacent, the whole Doom scene.
It's like,
And it's just more palatable, and like you can, you know, it is nice to sort of have some Doom band playing. You got a pint of best on the go, you know, maybe you had a little Doober outside.
I think it's craft beer Doom. It's not weed Doom. Like it's more representative for people who buy expensive craft beers than it is for people who smoke like itch weed.
It bothers me though because when they both like, I just have a problem with craft beer, which is that like, why does craft beer equal IPA? I genuinely don't know the answer to that question. Does anyone have the answer to that question? Why is craft beer so ridiculously and for literally over a decade been hyper overrepresented by the Indian Pale Ale? People now consider IPA and craft beer to be synonymous, even though IPA is just one style of beer invented by the colonial British. They added more hops to it because hops are antibacterial so that it wouldn't spoil. So it's an extra hoppy beer, right? What if you don't like an extra hoppy beer? What if you like, for example, I don't know, a nice
One word. Brewdog. I bet it's those cunts.
Yeah, it can't just be them though.
Like now, the punk IPA was so big, like back in the day. I think it might be like a creation of them.
Do you know what? Do you know? I'm going to have an even more cynical view. I'm firing off stray shots here. Maybe it's because the hop forward character covers up any off flavors if you fuck up your brew. So maybe it's just a safety beer for people who don't want to brew something that's more subtle because they don't want to have to. They want to be able to hide the off flavors. They usually do like a stout as well, but it's always IPAs first. I find that odd because, like, for me, my palate anyway, I love a lot like a craft lager. I know lager is actually more difficult to brew, but even like a Kvite lager with like Lutra yeast, or like, and actually brewing's a topic we haven't covered yet, but you know, like the other, I just love Belgians as well. Like, fucking hell, a nice Belgian blonde. I was drinking Schoof recently. I love Schoof. Have you ever had Schoof?
I fucking yeah.
It's
Belgian
like like a lager level, but what it is it's like almost like a lager, but it's got a slight creaminess to it and a slight fruitiness. And those are all those Belgian yeast. They've got those fruity esters coming off them. Why, oh why, are people obsessed with fucking hoppy IPA when there's shit like Belgian blonde? You know, it just doesn't make it. You go to Belgium, you're like, oh my god, these guys fucking cracked it. These are the fucking
Belgium's hurt my face though.
But Belgians are the fucking grand wizards of beer, and you're like, they know what they're doing. And then you come back to the fuck off, Matt. You know what I mean? And then you come back and craft beer, and it's all just IPA, and it's like, brother, what are you doing here? What are we doing?
What helped is that IPA was like it was something new at the time. It also allowed you to do that thing which you couldn't quite do unless you like really knew your way around Belgians, which weren't always easy to access, which is be an alcoholic but get away with it. So previously, if you were drinking like a 7 to 8% beer, it was special brew or Kestra or something, or Tenant Super or something, and you were seen as like lower class. Whereas now you can pay extra for a beer which is exactly the same as like.
But again, you could always get away with a Belgian strong.
The thing about Belgians, the thing about Belgian beers is that I'm sure they're objectively better, but they make me feel fucking awful. I remember when you brewed your Belgian beers, and like they were lovely, but like I remember you were saying, "Oh, it's 4% of it." I'm thinking, God, that didn't feel like 4%. Like you feel it in your cheeks, like it was. God, the hangovers are just like it's like if beer was wine, you know, like.
Oh god, yeah, fucking barley wines. I mean, Belgians. I mean, I still love. No, they do like alcohol-free Belgians, but like. Okay.
Well, it's not just Belgians. Also, what about like a nice best? What's wrong with a nice best? What's wrong with a nice bitter?
You know what I don't like German wheat beers.
I like them.
That's too far for me.
But what about like even just a pale ale? Just don't put so much hop in it. Just stop with the hop.
I like a pale ale.
Just a normal pale ale, not an IPA. Just a normal, nice little, nice crisp pale ale. Why does craft beer have to be synonymous with IPA? It's not a style.
My problem with proper beer though is that it's meant to be had like room temperature, or whatever. Whereas I like it.
Not necessarily. But
in the pubs like they're
cellar temperature.
Yeah. But it's never like cold enough for me. Like no matter how they're meant to be drunk, I like them cold.
I get that. I get that.
I feel that about red wine. Like I like even though red wine's meant to be like.
Wine's got to be warm. I like it almost warm.
No, that's fair. Like, I know that's right, but like I myself, like I need cold.
Wine.
Yeah. No, honestly, that's how I drink it in Spain.
Don't like that.
That's how I drink it in Spain.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. You can have it all different manners away. I
know it's not the right way, but
it should not be room temperature, and no beer should be served warm. It should be cellar temperature. So it should be a bit lower, but it's not going to be as cool as in the fridge. But
I like fridge level.
You've got that this kind of nice tangy malts in there.
Yeah,
that it's going to work at cellar.
You get more actual flavor at the cellar temperature. Like honestly, like I know that from like Guinness, having Guinness at like room temperature.
It just slinks down. It just slinks right down. It does.
Slinky.
But only if it's cask. That's the thing. The other thing about craft beers, none of them are cask. They're all out of the. I don't know. Mark could tell us what it's called, but they're all pressurized in kegs. They're not proper cask beers. You don't get that nice. Tangy, it just goes down. You can drink fucking million of them and they just work.
We should absolutely do like an episode on like beer and brewing. Get Mark on. We should get fucking Jez on. It's like how to run a pub.
Yeah, true. And we should do a brewing episode where we brew an entire beer.
You do one.
We'll do a brewing live stream.
The only craft beer I can't quite deal with is pastry stouts. That is where I get boomer. I'm like, can I just get a Guinness flavored Guinness, please?
Yeah,
I used to like flavored stouts, but like now I'm just like,
I like a coffee stout or a mocha stout. I made the mocha stout that I think is good, but yeah, I don't want it to be too like heavy and desserty.
I had one years ago called like Peanut Riot or something, and it was fucking banging. But like, you know what it was? It actually tasted good. It tasted more like I can't remember if it was the same one or if it was different, but there was that one was banging. But there was another one I had that was like a dark chocolate stout. And I've never had a beer actually taste so close to what it said it was. Like the actual aftertaste, like gave you that kind of dry, dark, chocolatey kind of taste. It was mental, but like I've never had anything like that since. And it's like, it's just a crapshoot, and normally you miss,
Although the greatest flavor in a stout, which is underappreciated, I've had it in two different ones. Oyster. I don't know fucking why, but oyster in a stout. I don't know. It's like the flavoring of oysters in a stout. Fucking very good. Like,
in the Netherlands, me son.
Yeah, in the Netherlands, I had an oyster stout, and it was fucking delicious.
Sounds like Asian.
I want to get back to the Netherlands. I miss having access to so much land.
Not for the oyster stout though.
No, I want to get. They've got such good hash in fucking Netherlands, man.
Whereas now it's just kind of it's Cali strains.
No, you need to go. If you
go Calais.
No, but literally, if you do ever go to Amsterdam and you're not averse to smoking tobacco, don't even fuck around with the weed. Just get the Afghan, get the Moroccan, get all the hash there, because that stuff is top grade. All the classic growers from Amsterdam, guys like Neville, Sam Skunkman, they never even smoked flower. They sold weed that they bred so that they could buy hash.
No, seriously, oyster stouts are a thing. Like the British invented them because people used to like drinks. There's like a huge oyster heart.
Of course we did. Of course, the country of jellied eels invented oyster stout.
No, fuck jellied eels. I disagree with my ancestors about that.
What if the sauce was a beer?
It's fucking delicious. Right, okay, listeners, go find yourself an oyster based stout. Obviously not if you can't do shellfish. That's fair enough. But for shellfish reasons,
I'm not supposed to because of my skin.
I got a condition.
I got a skin condition, so I'm not supposed to have shellfish. There's actually prawn crackers in the cupboard that I want to eat, but I can't because they might make my skin even worse. Don't know how it could get even worse at this point, but I don't really want to find out.
Science.
And the first ever Pub Goth transmission live stream, Archie will be eating an entire bag of prawn crackers, and we're going to be having a
Risky
deluxe
life.
color chart just next to him to see what happens.
To see what colors. Yeah.
I can see shrimp colors.
Anyway, I don't know. I think we've covered enough topics today. We can probably
the 90 mark.
Probably call it a go.
I've nothing left to do but play the Instructable.
Yes, indeed. Key life lessons coming right up. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Pub Goth Transmission. Hello, Pub Goth Transmission. Today I'm going to teach you an absolutely critical life skill. How to open a bottle with a lighter, right? Now, it's all about technique, it's not about force. And the trick is, you first want to grip the bottle like this, right? Thumb over the top of the 3 fingers, right? Then what you're going to want to do is, you've got your first knuckle here. You want to insert this guy in between the 2. See, he's there. I don't have to hold him, he's just there. Now again, it's not a game of force, it's a game of having that leverage, that lever effect. So once you've got it nicely there and you know that it's not under the little glass rim but under the bottle cap proper, you will squeeze with your left hand, I'm squeezing, and then push down like that. And it's as simple as that. Bottoms up. Alright.
Right, so we're going to show you how to make the perfect Magnum of Sprite. The Maggie's of Sprite, the mix maker, the Mix Masters blend. Get your cold gloves. Good handful of ice. I like to go all out. Bit too much. Now we want a good blend here. I normally go for a third of a bottle. Top that up with your finest Sprite. So you want the bubbles. The bubbles is, that's how you know it's good quality. All that to the top. Do all the cocktail mix. Look at that, how it's blending.
Beautiful.
There you have it. Maggie and Sprite, the way God intended.
With the lights down low and a pint in my hand, Sisters of Mercy fills the airwaves around. I step outside to light up a fire, feel the chill in the air, see the snow on the ground. Open my mouth and spew out